Yeah.
Okay. I'll send it out. Ryan, I'm going to send you this as well.
How's yeah?
I bet, Jake, you just maybe missed that prompt to see if this was a headphone
I think so.
the first time
Yeah, I
around.
think you're right.
Yeah, this is headphone action. Is the podcast rolling?
Yep.
Because I got some fucking shit to say.
I just sent you the...
You're not supposed to cuss for the first, 5 minutes.
Oh,
We'll
Shoot.
get demonetized.
shoot.
It's cool. I think that this podcast should really lean into being a demonetized podcast.
And get
Yeah,
shadow banned and sun banned.
Or do you think that we should cultivate a totally different podcast persona for the first minute and then immediately shift once we've made it past the time cutoff?
Wait,
Some really taboo topics.
why are you not supposed to cuss in the first 5 minutes?
I don't think it's 5 minutes. I think it's a shorter period of time that
Because that's all the YouTube moderators are watching each video.
if you say something if you, I don't know, yeah, use a
I don't know what
prohibited
the deal
term.
is. Why, though?
Is cussing not permitted on YouTube?
Cussing is permitted, but if you
Not
say certain words are not permitted.
Like the
Maybe
seven
Like a
band-
British.
I think it's age restriction.
Ooh,
Maybe.
You know what they are,
yeah,
Jesse.
if
know
you have
what
to, I mean,
the 7 banned words.
No, I think a lot of those are actually okay. But
What about the S word?
yeah, and I don't think you can call people. I don't think you can talk. I don't think you can maybe you can. I don't know.
The C word?
Yeah, I mean, in
C-word is
Australia,
out. I don't know if you
in
can.
Australia, I think you can though.
Yeah,
So you can't call someone a C muffin?
Yeah, not in America, you can't.
God. What happened to our civil liberties?
Oh, sorry.
You want to start our own? You want to start our own pirate, pirate TV show
Like
station?
InfoWars style?
Yeah. All right. Should we get this started?
yeah. Let's get it started.
How's it?
Welcome. There's probably no one viewing it yet. I haven't sent. We haven't gone live.
Welcome, loyal followers.
Well, that's their bad because
Yeah.
we're going live.
We're going live, and
Right
people
now.
don't know what they're missing.
F it, we'll do it live.
Jake, you want to take the
Yeah.
intro?
Sure. All right. Welcome to 118 Degrees West, a TV show about West Coast surfing, skiing, but probably above anything else, mostly technical difficulties,
Say it.
Of course.
Yeah.
of which we're probably not going to have any tonight. I
Should
think
probably check. We should probably listen.
We
to
should
this.
listen
I'll
to
do
it,
it. I'll
make
do it on
sure,
my
but
phone 'cause you got
We
it.
own up. I have it playing right now, and right now all I see is just the. Oh, there we go.
Can you hear us?
you got to account for the
Yeah.
lag.
Jake is good.
How's Jesse?
Can you hear my chewing?
His mic is a
Yeah,
little
Jesse's smacking his
Haven't
lips
heard-
so hard,
I have-
dude. I tried to move the mic away to kind of dull it a little bit.
I'm having a love affair.
I know you are.
Gummy bears.
You can have the rest. I don't need any more. But yeah, this is episode 7 of 118 Degrees West, and we got some snow news to talk about.
Oh yeah.
So the vibes are high here at the 118 West Studios because it was raining all day here in Costa Mesa,
Oh yeah, you'll love to see it.
but not snowing up by you, right?
Not yet. We actually had some pretty clear skies.
Ooh.
I
It's
got-
a low
I-
slider then, huh?
no,
No.
I
What's
saw
that
the clouds.
atmospheric river?
I was in the jacuzzi after work, and I could see the dark.
Are you still there?
They
Did we
are
lose yet?
The storm hit.
passing me by.
We may have lost.
Well, that's
Ryan.
crazy. If it's not snowing up there, and it's snowing down here, what do you call that besides
Cloud
passing
seeding.
it by? Maybe.
Call it cloud.
But what do you call that besides passing June by?
Yeah,
Did
don't
Mammoth
know.
get some? Mammoth probably got some.
I don't think so.
No, it hasn't hit yet.
Yeah, I think
The
this.
first plume
this
of
went way
moisture was
low.
only hit Southern California, and then the rest is it's.
So this went way low, huh?
Yeah.
First part of it.
Do you think it hit up now and Ryan just got knocked out by the storm?
I think
It
so.
hit, yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
There's probably snow up to his windows.
That's
you
the
know?
sound of a Sierra storm taking out
One
our
of
on the field reporter up in
Right.
June.
It was good to know you.
I don't know. Oh, the call is definitely hung up now. Should I call him back?
Yeah.
Try it again. All right. So I talked a little bit too early about no technical difficulties.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. Ooh, I can hear myself a little bit.
Did the storm take you out, Ryan?
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely coming in. The wind is starting to howl.
Ow,
pretty-
ow, ow. Right?
Definitely.
Definitely.
So no snow
Right.
in Mammoth yet, but definitely rain here. No, go ahead.
Ryan, I put together the rough cut of our Tyndall trip, and it's a 10-minute long video so far.
Sick.
Thrilling.
Dude, I can't wait to watch it.
And I need to find a 10-minute long clown music clip to play.
What about the Wallace and Gromit?
yeah, yeah, for 10 minutes. It's tough to find. Maybe I'll loop it.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
What era was the Tyndall trip?
Recent.
Last August.
Oh, okay.
When it was 103 degrees.
Nice.
Yeah, let's just say we had a last minute detour where we went north, even farther north.
Dude, it was one of those trips where at every junction, I chose the lazier option every time until it progressed to the laziest thing we did was sit just kicking it on the shores of June Lake.
Yeah,
Nice.
having a good time,
On the
bocce
beach.
balling.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Tyndall was not climbed
No, because
on the
it
Tyndall
No.
trip.
was too hot.
It was too hot.
Yeah. Dude,
Oh, it was scorching hot.
it was like 80 degrees.
At like 6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m. It was like 80 degrees. And I was like, dude, I don't want to go up these switchbacks. Let's go to June.
We've been over this. It doesn't get 80 degrees at that elevation.
No,
We covered this in a
no.
different
I
episode.
don't think we reached a conclusion.
This is down low. This
Oh,
is
okay.
like because there's
No.
there's like 150 switchbacks right off the bat at like 5,000 feet.
Oh, jeez.
And then you go all the way up, and I was like, dude, I don't want to do this. Let's go drive up to somewhere higher and chiller.
Yeah, it was like 105 and freaking Manzanar or something. Like it was over triple digits.
It said 103 on the drive
Yeah.
up there in the
Ooh.
car.
That's right. It was stupid hot. And June was perfect. June was a great call.
This was.
I'm always.
Oh, go ahead.
What was that?
I was going
I
to
was
say
just gonna say I'm always down with the lazy route.
we are definitely amateur houring it tonight.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can I finish? Let me finish.
all right.
All right,
As
yeah.
I was saying, that
Wait,
was,
excuse me. It's
that
my
was
turn.
that was a trip that you encountered a fridge that hadn't been opened or or power for
Oh.
months. Correct.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was, and that might have had some side effects on the hike. I may have had some side effects.
Don't spoil it, Ryan. We want people to see this feature. It's coming.
I was going to say, is that
Yeah.
have like a
yeah.
a climactic moment?
Yep.
Nice.
With a tight shot. Nice tight shot.
Are we gonna
Hell
play?
yeah.
Are we gonna play?
No.
Oh,
I
well
got
then.
it edited. I
Yeah.
just did like a rough cut and
So
happy
did
to
you
find
eat
out.
things from this fridge?
I got some great news though, guys. I am geared up. I couldn't hear what Jesse just said.
Well, hold on. No, Ryan didn't eat anything from the fridge, but he had to clean it out, and it was
With his mouth?
No, but just being in there and existing and like in that
It was
enclosed
rancid.
space with like that smell, like it was like, dude, like a gallon jug of milk that had been unrefrigerated for months. Like it was the worst, dude.
It was gnarly.
I had never been to Ryan's place. And I was like, oh, yeah, this place is pretty cool. And then he like opened the door. He's like, oh. And I was like, he opened the fridge and he's like, oh. And I looked inside. I was like, oh yeah, nice place. I'm out of here. And I haven't seen it since. And then,
It's a lot better.
but
now,
Ryan
man.
was in there for like 30 minutes cleaning it all up. Just trying
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, I got like maybe a third of it, and then I had to come back another trip, and it took me hours to fully
Oof.
like decontaminate everything.
Little Palo Santo never
Rough stuff.
hurt anyone.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was fine when we were there though. What, like 3 weeks ago or something? It seemed totally fine. I know you said there's still like a stain on the floor, but
I think,
seemed
dude, no,
unnoticeable.
what Ryan had to endure probably has burned. It's like into his memory now.
We won't.
It'll smell that way for years to you, Ryan.
We won't belabor this
It doesn't smell like that to me anymore.
too much longer.
Doubt
But
it.
what were you thinking? Like, did you just think you could like abandon your fridge even if the power stayed on for 3 months? Like,
No,
it
I
still
thought I
would've
was
smelled
coming.
bad.
I thought I was coming
So
back.
irresponsible. You sound like a real dad, Jess.
I thought I was coming
wait,
back.
are you a real dad, Jess?
You're ready for a teenager. What were you thinking? I didn't think. That's right. You weren't thinking, were you?
You didn't mean not to.
Gosh, I'm
All right,
sorry.
but back on topic, snow. We got snow
No.
news. Snow's coming. It's
That was coming. I've got some sweet new fucking gear.
oh, Ryan, what are you geared up with? What'd you get?
So I scored a pair of QST the blanks, the 112s underfoot
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
for $170.
Sweet
New?
They were last year's demos at the rental shop, and I probably
Score.
demoed them. I probably demoed them 50% of the time people used them.
Nice. So you just got skis that you already skied.
Yeah, for
Oh, that's-
180% off.
That's epic.
And then
Wait, is
I
that
have
a deal just for patrollers or?
they were already, I think they were already like 60 or 70, and then I got the additional patroller like employee discount.
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah, it was fucking killer. Last year they wanted to sell it to me for $400. I was like,
And he
"Oh,
said, "I'm gonna core shot these, and I'll see you next year."
yeah, exactly." But then
There's
I
no way you
also
could get even
bought-
more than $200 for these skis. I'll give you 170.
Bro, they're actually in great condition though.
I imagine,
they're
yeah.
solid. They're sweet. I've already had to use them a few, like last week. Last week's powder was so good.
All right, should we translate? We have a snowboarder sitting on the couch. 112 skis are skis that are good
112
in
centimeters long.
No.
Yeah, no.
No,
That's
112.
not really a thing in snowboarding.
112 is
You don't
measured
go
under
wider.
foot.
Oh,
It's how wide the ski is.
112
Under-
centimeters.
112
foot, though.
millimeters
Oh,
underfoot.
I was gonna
This
say
is why we're
foot.
explaining it to the snowboarder. He doesn't know the metric system.
Yeah.
in this great
it's
country
complicated.
where we live, we will measure things by yards and feet.
They do measure. I think the length of a ski is centimeters, but the underfoot measurement is millimeters. And so
Yeah.
Ryan's talking about the ones that he has are like powder skis.
There will
Kinda.
be 500 or 5,162 feet in a mile.
An easy number that everyone will remember.
Yeah, they're so sweet though. And then I also got some brand new boots. I got some tech boots.
What do you
And I got
get?
some, the Solomon Pro shifts.
Oh heck yeah!
Are you new boot goofing?
I just got them today. Tomorrow's gonna be my first day using them.
Ooh.
I'm hyped.
Oh, that's so sick, Ryan. So wait, is that going to be a work ski for you?
The QST blanks.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, it'll be right now. It'll be my powder ski, for inbounds, and then I got some Ben Chetler 110s, and I'm gonna put some shifts on it, and those would be like my side country, back country.
Do you already have shifts?
Yeah.
Damn it. I'm trying to offload a pair of shifts. If anyone listening,
Is this
What-
the ship?
Oh,
Pro-
how much? I
the-
might want them.
the
Although
first-
I'll
the
give you a
first
good
series?
deal. What's that?
Is it the first or the second series?
I don't know. I'm probably the first. I bought them maybe 3 years ago now.
Do you like them?
No, I hate them.
Yeah. Do they release weird?
I think they might release weird. I haven't had any issues with that, but I know Matt has, and he has the same skis or the same
And the
bindings.
brakes are weird too, or something.
They
The
tour
brakes don't always
terribly.
engage.
They just don't tour well. It's
Yeah.
at that point, I'd rather just have not tech bindings, just regular downhill bindings, and have different skis for the reason or for backcountry with Dynafit or similar like that style of binding.
Well, Ryan, congratulations on your purchase. And as fascinating as the subtle nuances of these weird contraptions you speak of are, let's transition
It's
to
not that weird.
let's
Yeah,
transition
they're
to
actually so much
this
thicker
upcoming
than
storm.
they're worth.
But hold
Something
on.
we can all sink our teeth into.
On this subject, because we would like for you to get a backcountry setup. Doesn't have to be skis, a split board
Well,
at some point.
I do have. Chad gave me a pair of skis with AT bindings, and the skis are kind of like shit. And he said I could take the bindings off and just like give him back the ski.
Uh-huh.
And I could mount those eventually on another ski, but I think right now the shifts will be fine.
Yeah.
Like-
It'd be fun to just get out into the backcountry, I think, Ryan, if you had a setup that was capable of doing that.
Exactly.
Which you should join us on at some point, Jesse. A split board, even if you had to rent one, and come into the backcountry for old time's sake.
I won't be renting, but
Why not?
I was
You
about
don't
to
have
say,
one?
this is not a man who rents.
no, it's just like you know how I treat equipment. Why would I rent it? I'll probably bring it back filled with core shots.
Not after a storm like the one coming in now. I think it would be bottomless.
You know what I was looking for the other day? To
What?
have for nostalgia's sake is a forum destroyer to buy.
You don't deserve a destroyer. Only real snowboarders.
Did you ride a destroy? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the forum snowboard that I loved
I got destroyed
was
by
a
it.
Seeker.
The Seeker was
The
nice.
Seeker was such a sick board.
But the Destroyer is like the classic.
Yeah.
The Seeker was nice. That was a Devin Walsh pro model.
Shout out Devin Walsh if you're listening. He probably is, I think.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or his
He'll
his
eventually-
kin.
Oh,
His kin.
the
folk.
Devin Walsh kinfolk.
Would you think
He's
that,
Canadian, right? Devin Walsh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed, because I don't ride new equipment. Actually, I bought a new snowboard a year and a half ago. And it doesn't see, and it was an expensive one. It was like, spent like $500 on it with discount. So it's a pretty top of the line board. I don't notice much advancements, like a modern snowboard versus I own ones that are 15 years old.
I think there's a huge difference between a 15-year-old snowboard.
No.
Yes.
Not from what I can tell. And I like ride 'em.
Rocker, I think, is a big thing in the last 15 years, right?
I think
No, they had rocker on
I
boards.
think
not
the-
as much as now, though.
the edge, most like new snowboards don't have like a straight edge anymore. It like undulates to some degree.
Some. I think that
Most.
depends on the board.
Most of the ones that I've seen,
I don't think mine has that.
well,
And mine's a
probably should upgrade.
Maybe it's time for a new one.
Yeah.
I don't think they've made that crazy of advancements. I think the stuff that's changed over the last 10, 15 years on snowboards has been more like accessories and like the way one might mount a binding, like the EST system.
Step
granted
ins.
But I don't think the boards themselves, like I don't know.
I'll give you this. I think ski technology in the last 15 years is a
Dramatic.
bigger leap than snowboard technology.
Like boards have had
No.
camber and rocker.
You don't think so?
I mean, there has been a lot of innovation in backcountry skiing, but there's been a lot of innovation in backcountry snowboarding too.
Okay, but I'm just talking about a
Yeah.
typical board you'd ride
I'm talking
at
about at the resort setups
What's new at the resort?
for skis.
Yeah.
I think way like the proliferation of like way wider skis and way more like
Darker
rockered.
blue top sheets and
No, yeah,
way more
neon
color.
underglows and
Way sicker top
but
sheets.
I think snowboarding went through that too.
yeah, I think
they
it's
just
snowboarding went
that
through
way
it earlier.
Yeah, that's what my point though is. Like over the last 10, 12 years, there's nothing too
Hold on,
different.
I'm still saying snowboards have made a huge leap in 15 years, but not as much as skis because I think they made the bigger part of their like
Well, yeah, you
technical
guys
journey.
copied our
Exactly,
designs.
it just took skiing a little bit longer.
You guys realized, damn, we've been lames all this time.
I honestly think if I had tried skiing like way back in the day, I don't know if I would have been into it.
Yeah.
Like with
Really?
the tech, like a non-shaped, skinny, like long ski. I don't think I
Okay,
would
it's
have been
been
that.
5 minutes. Yeah, if you tried it back then, you wouldn't have had to tell you'd had to tell your parents you're gay. But now you're an adult. You can keep that to yourself.
Skiing is by far and away the better, the more versatile.
No way.
Yeah, we're talking to a person who works on a mountain.
Yeah, it's the most
Are we
natural.
calling June a mountain?
Of course we are. It's over
Yeah.
10,000 feet.
Hey, Ryan, does June have a does that any of the peaks like in the resort boundaries have names other than just June?
Yeah,
Like, is
the
this-
top of 6 is Rainbow.
I'm not even going to say anything. I'm tempted, but I will keep quiet.
All right,
In
so
the hope
wait,
of
the top
monetization.
of 6, not 7.
Yeah, that's Rainbow Mountain.
Is that higher than 7 though?
No, just a little bit shorter. I think it's like a couple hundred feet or something.
Okay.
And then the one to the left of Rainbow, is that Broke? Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
I think it's Jesse Mountain, the Gay Boy Mountain.
Gaylord.
Nice cover.
Hey, I think there is a peak in the series.
Yeah,
called
no,
Gaylord.
Gaylord is like a really common name. Funny too. Funny as heck.
There's Jesse Gaylord. I heard that
All right,
the
so
time.
this storm, are we gonna talk about it? Because I got
Yeah.
another subject.
We should.
Well,
This
let's
is
go
an
over
updated
our
total.
totals first. So Ryan chose a very
Funny.
funny number. That's
I think a really smart number.
If
An
Hey,
unrealistic,
If
but
Elon were here, he would be
He'd
backing
be-
that.
sadly.
So
Come
we
on,
got
boys.
Ryan for 420.
Yep.
Jesse with a probably somewhat realistic 280. We have Jake at 330.
Seems very high now in
And,
this the way the season has gone.
Dave playing it safe with 300, and then we have Chad at wishful 380.
And so season to date, this is a snowfall that's measured, I think, at either Main Lodge or McCoy. We should look and see. It might be
I'll
McCoy.
tell you right now.
But this is current
have
at
it.
Mammoth as of today, 133 inches for the year. Which I went back a little bit in the their season totals, and that is the worst start to the season since 2017-18.
I would have thought it would total it up.
So a bad start, but we're gonna turn that around with this storm, I think.
Oh yeah.
The first major storm of the season. Ryan, did you see some of the the weather reports that either Jesse or I sent you? I think a little bit just backcountry from June is forecast to potentially get 90 inches of snow.
Really?
Yes, the Ritter backcountry, like the base of Ritter.
I'm counting,
Ritter, I barely even know her.
I'm counting 136, but pretty close.
90
So that probably
inches.
said today, maybe. Yeah, 90 inches at the upper end of the forecast model for 12,000 feet.
Almost 8 feet, fool. 7.5.
Yikes.
What
What elevation was that at?
probably 12,000.
Wow.
So, very relevant to our snowfall totals.
Well, June's not that far away from Ritter, lower elevation, but by 2,000
but it's
feet.
so far away in terms of the seasonal snow it gets.
Oh, yeah. But this coming storm, I think, is going to wallop June
Yeah.
and
they-
Mammoth. Hopefully.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't look like, at least the projections, it doesn't look like this time around, according to the National Weather Service, that June's getting that much less than Mammoth. At least that's what it says on their tracker thing. So
The last couple of storms, I think we've been getting around the same. There was even one storm where we got more than
was
Mammoth.
that you got some lake effect?
Makes you wonder.
Yeah. We had some north wind lake effect, and it was during that last kind of Santa Ana outburst.
It was, we were up there. It was late January,
That,
right?
that is
Yeah,
what those
yeah,
Santa
yeah.
Anas were doing. They were outbursting.
Dude, they were out here fucking blowing snow like a madman.
That was, I skied at Mammoth that storm, and it was the coldest I've experienced Mammoth this winter.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been cold. Yeah, this morning I woke up and it was 6 degrees outside.
You love to see that.
What has attendance been like this year, Ryan? Is it less so far than last year, or seems roughly the same?
I mean, it definitely seems like a little less because we had such a rough start. People are like, oh, nothing's even open. But this last weekend, it was super busy.
Okay, so what's attendance been like?
Well, I mean, I think it's coming into our busy season. So
Couple
it's
hundo.
been super light. It's been super light, but
I don't know.
Hey,
Do you guys have that data in real time? Do
Yeah,
they,
we
as
get a
far as like
number.
who's a number daily? Like, here's how many guests are on the mountain, quote unquote, or like at least bought tickets, or
Yeah, we have a number of how many people scan their pass at the
okay.
bottom one.
Smart. Hey, are they pulling any of that premium parking bullshit at your mountain?
No,
Okay, good.
yeah, people are
Okay,
camping in the
because
parking lot, right?
Wow,
Wait.
that really took the wind out of Davy's sails.
no, it makes me happy.
No, I think David's
but
stoked.
this is where we're gonna go. Because have you
But
heard
he
about
was
this?
ready to rant.
Have you heard about this premium parking BS at Mammoth, where at Maine, Canyon and Eagle, a lot of those lots are roped off now for premium parking. So now it's
Really?
making the parking
This was news to
elsewhere
me.
worse.
Too. How much of the parking lot do they set aside?
Too
for-
much. I don't know. I don't know, but
Like if you
I'm
get there,
pissed.
do you think if you get there early, you can still get free parking close, or is all the close parking roped off and you can still just park in the lot?
I don't know.
But is that just at Maine and Canyon?
And Eagle,
And
apparently,
Eagle?
Not at Mill.
but
yeah.
not at Mill. Mammoth, if you're watching this,
Don't go the
Mill
way of
is
Vail.
the last straw. You don't touch the Mill parking lot. It should be
not.
considered sacred, I think, for Mammoth. That
No,
should
it
be
is.
a free lot. It rewards people that get there early, and it should stay that way.
There's nothing.
Any
sacred. There's
changing-
nothing sacred to this freaking corporate.
And if there's any coyotes listening, keep biting
Keep-
people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Stay wild, Mill lot.
Do you think an Instagram page dedicated to
Hot
mill
dog.
antics? I bet you could get enough content just coming out of the mill. No other lots.
It's a little coyote.
I've seen fights, physical fights at the mill.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
I once saw a family sprayed by a drunken snowboarder
Yeah, I saw that too
with
one time.
chunks of ice. It was
Me
horrific.
too. I think I was there as well.
Oh, we should tell that story. I think that'd be a good one. So
Ugh.
to paint the
I don't know
picture.
if Jesse down.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah,
Jesse.
all right, yeah, we won't.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
fine.
I was just groaning because I always have to hear it. I'm not afraid it's gonna be.
I don't mean afraid. All right.
But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, if you don't want it, if you don't want me to say it, then we won't say it.
Those people might be
Anyways,
listening.
I'm on a
Might
different.
be traumatized.
Yeah, well,
All right. If those people were in the comments, you know what happened. Drop a comment and tell us we should tell the story. And if
Yeah.
they chime in,
hey, so I think that move sucks by Altera, and so I was talking to Jake about this. I think there needs to be a new independent ski resort opened up in the Sierra, and where do we think it should be
But
opened
hold on.
up?
You do know why? Did you know? This is interesting. There's only been one new ski resort opened in the 48 states in the last like decade.
Why?
which one, what is it?
I don't know the name, but they were going over it recently on like one of the sites, and the main reason is because pretty much most of the ski resorts operate through some sort of governmental lease of like Forest Service land, and those leases have been like active for 50 to 75 years, and so like really the only way of getting a big resort built is either taking over a defunct one where it's like there's already was an agreement in place and the place went out of business, or like buying a mass amount of private land, but it's pretty hard to buy private land of that quantity that has ski resort level like roads and access, and like so it's a problem.
All right. Well, I'm letting you click on that idea, but I'm saying
No
permitting
restrictions.
aside, no restrictions. Where because it's a balance, right? You're not gonna put one up.
Talk closer, I think.
You don't want to put one up like somewhere that you really like to go. Like I don't want one at Big Pine,
Saddleback.
Oh, Saddleback would be tight.
And then would you just lay down like the grass that you can ski on?
So
No.
where would you want it in the? Where do you think is the place in the Sierra?
I would say
Shasta, but a real one on Shasta.
no. I would
not the ski
say
Too far? No, I'm talking about like to take the load off of Mammoth.
northern like Yosemite, almost more like Tuolumne, north of Tuolumne.
A huge resort north of
What is that
June.
mountain up there? There's like some really good. If you go up to
Dana's on like the south side or southeast side of Tuolumne, and that there's a bunch of
was
insane
like
lines there.
Wood.
But like Connect, this is all way north of Wood. Wood's like just north, just as on like the far side of the June Lake Loop, right?
You could build some pretty nice ones
Wood would be super
in
sweet, I
the
think. It's just like
north-facing
a
mountains
giant
out of
face.
Bridgeport.
Yeah, wood could be sick, but there just doesn't seem like there's enough, you know.
Hey, what about Mount Tom?
Feels like it's exposed.
Mount Tom would be
There's
so
so many
dangerous.
Fatalities.
What if they
Why
haven't
stop
controlled
there?
it?
Why
though?
not Mount Morrison? Langley.
Mount Tom is. I think Mount Tom is mostly just 2 gullies, right?
And it's south-facing, a lot of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over to the north side too. You know.
Yeah.
How about some of the mountains right out of Bridgeport? A lot of those are north-facing.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I'm saying north. Well, somewhere in between Bridgeport and Tuolumne.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some sick big ones out there.
But
It's just like
I don't
high,
think-
open, mountainous terrain.
I don't think you'll see it for the reasons that were just discussed. You're not going to see.
Maybe
Yeah,
you
the
might.
forest
And
will
the
not
and the
be-
scary thing is it's only going to get worse because the
Dude, do you know the office?
the
What's
amount
up?
of resorts that have been bought up over the last decade has I think they say there's only like 30-something% of resorts are now privately owned and not part of like a larger.
There's a ski pass, I think, for those resorts called the Indy Pass. Do you know of this
No.
one? There's a bunch of like independent resorts that aren't owned by Altera or Vail Corp. And I think a lot of them have gotten together and have made like a much cheaper pass than
Ooh,
the Indy
I want to look
Pass.
into this because I wonder who's on it.
There's a lot of resorts. I don't know how many in California. I bet you Baldy's on it.
Say no mo.
Baldy's having a
Did
rough.
did you see Vail's been having a lot of issues with lifts just falling?
We were talking
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just falling. There's a video of a guy that took a tumble on a Vermont Vail mountain, and you see these guys back like, "Hey, are you okay, man?" And he's like falling 25 feet. And he's just laying on the ground. He's
I
like,
saw the video.
Yeah, the thing detached or whatever. He's like, "I think I'm all right." And he's just like,
He's like, my back. He says
yeah,
something
he's like,
about his
"I
back.
think my back hurts or whatever." And he's just falling like
Oh,
25 feet. The
dude.
chair's just and Vail's like, we check all our lifts every morning. Like
we love
do,
all our customers the same.
we do rigorous. And
So,
it's like apparently not.
Did you hear what happened on that? The lift came to an abrupt stop, and the chair was swinging, and it hit the lift stand, and then that cracked the metal on it, and it fell.
Do you think that after the fact it's
I
going to
think.
come out that this guy was
Bar-
going back swinging
Barred-
this wildly
bar
and he's
up.
the cause?
They're probably a little ways away from a full rollback on one of their old.
Oh, that's what That's what they're going to try to argue. Like, well, he was listening to music on his backpack speakers.
Should we put a countdown to when we think a full rollback is going to happen
My
at a Vail
there's
resort?
actually
Do you think there's Vegas odds on that?
That'd be a
there's a
sick
couple
bet.
videos out there, but the craziest full rollback is the one at that ski resort in Georgia.
Yep.
Oh boy!
Ryan, did you have to watch that as a part of your training?
The chairlift falling.
The one that's like happening in
Russia or Georgia, but
outskirts of Russia on like an old like probably Soviet era
it was
like
relatively recent
chairlift.
over the last 10 years.
When they were like being thrown out of it.
Yes.
No.
A surprising amount of the people did not bail.
I thought that was fake.
No, that's
I think there's a real
100%
one.
This is not like they'd put dummies on it. The thing failed. People were getting tossed and bossed, and they kept telling people in Russian,
Jump.
jump, jump. And people would be like, I don't know. I think I'll just wait to see how this plays out. And then they get whipped around the bull wheel and just.
Most people jump off at the
Event-
very last second.
But the first couple people just were like, oh, well, he got thrashed. I bet I'll fare better. And then, yeah, it's terrifying. I would gladly jump from way higher than those people were jumping to avoid
I agree.
that fate. I'd rather jump from a near fatal height than suffer being
It could be
whipped.
near fate. It could be fatal the other way.
Although you just wait till the end of a lift is
Yeah,
all. It's
yeah.
not very high. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I heard that it actually happens a couple times a year in the U.S.
Yeah.
Not full rollbacks.
Chairs fall.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
like-
Yeah.
yeah.
We had a kid fall out yesterday.
Was he
on our
asking for
buddy's
it?
chairlift.
Wait, did you have to go up to him and
What
say,
would you
what
have-
would you have done differently?
I was not the patroller. I was off yesterday, but I heard that today.
They caught
Yeah.
someone in a net at a California resort.
Did the person, were they okay? Did they walk away?
It was a kid, and they went in the ambulance.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like kind of hard to tell because The kid was like, I don't know if I'm hurt or not. It sounded like really mysterious, but he was saying, yeah, like my back hurts, but like my neck, my fucking.
What happened?
Do you think he just has a stinger?
Who knows?
It is a lot better though than yeah, dude. I can't fucking
Yeah.
move. Like, I mean, I'd
Yeah.
rather be a question than a definitive yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's the clue of mental status though. That means like that could be
True.
like
But
mental
what
status.
happened?
Dude.
I think most lifts at June and Mammoth are survivable though on a fall.
Ooh.
I don't
Really?
Not at 6.
Not
Not
a Mammoth
7
for
if
sure
you
not.
fell right at the top.
There's
Yeah,
so many
Mammoth for sure.
areas at Mammoth
I
where
don't
you
mean at
bite
every
it.
point in the lift. I just mean I think each lift, like as long as you didn't fall on rocks, there's not too many areas where a fall straight onto snow,
think-
if you fell right, would like
I don't-
you'd splat.
I disagree.
Oh,
I think-
not splat,
Yeah.
but not
Totally
People
survive.
fall
agree
from
with
some
you.
pretty. You have to remember, even snow that's not powder is so much more forgiving than cement.
For sure.
Yeah, but
And-
Jesse, do you know what a criteria for a spinal condition is? It's a
I'm not
fall
saying-
greater than your own height.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, but there's a lot of
You're a lot higher than you are.
Call
when
the
you're on
code,
a
get a
chair.
cart.
okay. I've fallen greater than my own height though, and haven't had.
And that
like,
explains a lot.
I'm not saying
You could easily
your
compress
survival
your
is assured.
spine.
I'm just saying I think there's a lot of. And
He
you have
broke
to-
his back.
you have to remember-
Spinal.
And a lot of the areas, even if you're falling from 40 feet up, even 50 feet up, you're not falling onto flat run. You're falling onto slope.
I agree. I think there's here.
Yeah, but that
How about
could
this?
work,
There's
though.
probably a surprising amount of falls that
That
you
would
could
look
take at the
fatal.
chairlift that you'd walk away with like injuries from minor to medium or something like that. But there's plenty of other spots I think where you would either get like super injured or easily die falling from
Yeah.
all over the place at Mammoth.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have huge lifts that span like
After paying $35, after
For-
paying paying $35 for the privilege of parking at the main lot.
What would you have done differently, sir?
Die on chair 1. Break your back. Spinal.
you die in the chair one line.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say the one thing about those new lifts they had there, those new Doppelmayers, those do not look like they're gonna fall apart like that on you. They look so
No, they
sturdy.
just look like they're gonna stop and
And they
hang
do.
out for a long time.
I will say, anytime you go from a 4 to a 6-person lift, the length of the line seems to increase dramatically, and the chance that the lift is going to stop.
I think those two things are related. I think
Yes,
the lift
no, I
stops
know.
all the time, and so it's just the line backs
but I
up.
also think it's because the ones that serve 6 usually start from the easiest terrain at a lot of resorts.
Oh yeah.
Not
They're
Cloud
like,
9.
we want to get you and all of your beginner buddies up that hill.
Yep.
I can tell you this: the ski resort that I would develop in California would have no 6-seater lifts.
Has,
Oh, yeah.
Only
They're
high-speed
gonna be all
quads.
thick grips.
has anyone seen those lifts in Switzerland or the Alps that have you go and there's like a laser that keeps you in your lane, almost like you're a ski racer?
No.
And then each lift has its own kind of like unique seat, and it's a 6-person lift, but it's like you almost sitting on like a carved out chair.
Oh, I've been on those before.
And then you actually get to put down
A
a,
bubble.
whole bubble.
Yep. They
Yeah.
have them in Montana at Big
That
Sky.
looks-
They're
is
not
like-
that sick.
Oh.
I guess I should. Well, I should. With a caveat, unless it's absolutely freezing, which it is a lot of times of the year at those places, it's awesome. But if you're skiing there and it's just a regular day,
Do you,
like,
do you
you know-
tell the person next to you, bubble up?
I put the bubble down there, but just as a novelty, it was not needed. But I can imagine there
Well,
being
it's good for
bubble up.
smoking.
Bubble up, bubble up.
true, and plenty of days
Yeah,
where
that would be chill. That little bubble thing.
box the bubble.
What resort
Lock
was
the
it recently
bubble.
where, was it Mammoth? No. Someone was caught fornicating in a gondola.
Oh, Whistler.
Whistler.
You
Yeah,
sent
I
me
saw-
that video.
And they had disinfected the whole gondola. It's all on film.
You know what? If you're gonna do that anywhere, Whistler is the place. You can ride gondolas there for so long. I think was I telling you that I skied there earlier this winter, and I spent an hour in gondolas, up down at Whistler with no skiing in between.
Dang.
Isn't that insane?
That's a long time.
because they didn't have enough snow. So to like download a gondola, it's so wide that if you're at the far side of the mountain and the tram stops going, the way that you have to get back is like 4 different gondolas.
Did you take what's the length of the one from Blackcomb to Whistler? Is
That
the
tram
longest?
is short. I mean, it's a big distance, but it moves so fast. I think it's like 12 minutes or less, maybe.
What a feat of engineering to not have like posts for that long
Yeah.
and somehow.
I don't think that you'd be surviving if that one.
No,
broke.
that thing's like 1,400 people base jump off. of those.
You are not surviving in a gondola.
Yeah.
Falls.
No.
I think you have a better chance in a chairlift than you do in a gondola.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
100%.
Hey, so I took this avalanche course. I don't know if we went over this already, but they were talking about group dynamics in it, and they were like, yeah, like who are you with, like, or maybe like what if you get into an argument for the day, and the guy's like, any of you guys ever gotten into an argument in the backcountry? And everybody's like, no, and I was like, oh yeah, all the time. I don't know what made me think about that just now, but
All
you know
the
what I'm talking
time.
about.
Because if we fell off a gondola, you'd be in the backcountry having an argument.
I don't
God
think if you're not
fucking
having
damn
a
it.
bitter argument about route finding or what you're going to do or the weather or whatever we were fighting about at the time, are you really living?
Did we talk about this last episode? And with like
I think
Steve?
we talked about it, but I don't know if we.
Was it on the camera? Was it even on the episode, or were we
So-
just?
I think
talking
it was
about-
on the
okay.
episode. I think we
Yeah.
haven't talked
All right,
about it before,
let's skip
but
it then.
we definitely
It was
had
good
a
then. It'll be
penchant
good again.
for bringing
I re-
some robust argumenting.
I remember
Into
a
the
pretty
backcountry.
brutal
Oh, yeah.
one on the Cassville Ridge that.
Yeah,
occurred.
that's what I thought about, whether you could throw a snowball to the summit or not.
That's well, and Jesse wanted to stop and melt snow for water because he was out of water because he was wearing long underwear, jeans, and then Helly Hansen Helitech like baggy, like durable, like
Gotta
work
protect
pants.
yourself from the elements, bruh.
And he was like sweating out and complaining they didn't have enough water. And we're like, "What? You're wearing a crazy amount of layers for hiking a volcano in the spring."
The one thing I didn't protect was my skin.
Ryan, do you know this story
No.
of hiking up? This was a long time ago, and I think it was David, Jesse, myself, and Steve.
June of 2012,
Wow,
really.
early June.
13 years ago. And I think it was, we went and did Mount Shasta, and it was our first time going there, and I think we were all on snowshoes at the time
Correct.
with snowboards on our
No,
back.
we had split boards, but we booted with them.
Okay.
The split boards became untenable. Yeah, you guys boot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
had
started off
snowshoes
booting.
too, right? I think. I remember having snowshoes. On
I
my
had-
back,
I think Jesse had snowshoes.
But eventually
Maybe
it
you
became
didn't have a
boot-
split board.
It became a boot. I did not have a split board.
I don't know if I did either. But anyways,
Steve
so,
had snowshoes, and
Yeah, that's
you
right.
and me had split boards, I think.
and so we like all got up to the and summited. Did we actually summit?
We
that day?
summited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
hell
did.
yeah, we
Summited
did.
Mount Shasta and then snowboarded down. But on the way up, we were doing this like ridge, and I had a GoPro equivalent camera at the time, like a contour camera, and accidentally recorded a massive fight between David, Jesse, myself, and Steve on like the Mount Shasta like plateau, like right before you do like the whatever the hill's called. The last like hill to the summit, and it's just Jesse complaining and saying we need to stop and boil water.
Do we still have the footage?
No,
Oh.
like a huge debate about route finding, about like which way to go to get to the summit ridge.
How far away we were. I remember it was, I could throw a snowball to the summit. Was the play.
What a funny thing to fight over.
No, you couldn't.
The day ended with we all snowboarded down, and Steve, not being a very good snowboarder,
Not having a snowboard.
oh that's right.
He
He was like,
glissaded.
I'm gonna glissade down. That's probably one thing they teach you not to do in
Glissade
a
14ers.
No, just split up with your whole party and like leave one dude high on a mountain. Like,
No. We met up. Steve actually caught up with us relatively quickly.
We waited at the
at the
hut.
cabin, and he
At
met
the
up
ski
with
hut.
us surprisingly quick.
We did.
I never stopped.
Yeah, you did.
You must. I think
Yeah,
I'm almost
we
positive
waited
you
for,
did.
like,
we
an
waited
hour.
at the hut for Steve,
But
and then
it was
we
only like an hour.
and then we all set out from the hut to the car, which is very short.
It's like a mile.
I don't recall.
Yes.
That. I
Yeah.
recall losing traction because the snow was so sticky, having to unclick, pedal a little more over the hill to the hut, and then I just went straight down.
Well, you may have done that. I definitely remember I met up with Steve at the base of his
okay.
Glissade, and we hung out in the shade of the structure and like talked about it, and then we went back to the car, and then Steve just never showed up.
And we were debating like
And we never saw him again.
when was an appropriate time to call search and rescue, and we were literally
I was on the phone with him.
we were on the phone. That's right, with search and rescue, and just as we were on the phone with him, a van puttered up the hill like an old like Westphalia or something. And Steve popped out of the van, and Jake was like, "Oh, I mean, never mind. There he is." And they're like, "So he's not lost?" And we're like, "Nope, we have eyes on him."
I think basically we had all started out like probably a 15-minute or less, 5 to 15-minute like distance from the car, and then Steve never showed up at the car and was gone for 2 hours.
Steve had
geez.
taken a different gully that deposited him like
Multiple
1,500
switchbacks
feet
down the road.
farther down.
By the way, I'm thinking of trying to do a strike mission to Shasta. If you're interested in it in May. If you're
I would
able
like to try and do that. I think maybe mid-late May.
like fly up there, rent a car, go ski the next day, go ski Friday night, rent a car, drive up, ski Saturday, ski Sunday, drive back Sunday afternoon, fly back
There's
Sunday
no
afternoon.
reason to do a more technical route like we did.
Yeah, you know what
go
I would even
straight
try
up.
and do?
What?
Skip the rental car, get Steve on this mission, and
Oh,
fly
yeah,
to
yeah, I mean-
Sacramento and go with Steve.
That's
up
what
to
I'd do. I would
Shasta.
fly to Sacramento, but
That would be sick.
if Steve's not willing to,
Steve will be willing. I bet Steve will be willing.
maybe. There's a lot of bad blood there between me and him.
Yeah, but I bet Shasta can overcome it.
There's a lot
We'll
of
get
power.
him.
There's a lot of power in that mountain.
I think I was actually I was with Steve. This is a friend of me and David. It's the first time that he backcountry skied on Mount Shasta. And I have a video of Steve on like one of the steeper parts, like losing traction in pretty like low angle snow, and eventually going for a ride and ejecting out of his skis.
Did Steve snowboard before he skied?
No, did he? I don't think so. I think he had a couple times, but I don't think he would say that he snowboarded.
Okay.
I think he was a very bad snowboarder. I think he got on a snowboard on that Shasta trip. Remember we had like set up like a little jump out in front of the hut, and like we were trying to grind like one of the slide one of the benches.
Back to what you said. There's no need to do anything more technical. You know what? Actually, I was thinking that Cassaville Ridge route was a really nice, cool, scenic route.
I think
like
if you
not
have
very
skins,
technical.
you just go up Avi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Avigolf's
So
like the
much
direct
faster.
one, right? But
We met people up there that were like, "Yeah, just doing a little day tour," and we're like, "What do you?"
Every other
they
time
did
I'd-
like a 3-hour hike to get to the top. It took us
Yeah.
like 6.5 or 7 hours.
I've gone back and done Avalanche Gulch, and it's easy. It's not.
Yeah.
It's such a mellow like.
well, it's just
only steep
it's
at
like
the
the
end.
direct too, right? Like versus Cassaville, you go up, you
Yeah.
kind of go out of the way and then wind up. But that was a really like interesting, like visually interesting route.
Definitely the longest vertical descent any of us done on a ski or boards in one go.
Yeah.
I skied K2.
So
In my mind.
14 to 7.
Yeah, I think so.
Roughly?
Bunny
Yeah.
Flat.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Flizzants.
You should get your backcountry ski gear together. Get some
Yeah,
skins.
it's happening.
What's weird though is it didn't seem
you can
like
join.
that much snowboarding. You must just it's pretty steep. You just descend a fair amount.
It felt like a decent amount of snowboarding, I think.
It's
To
a
me.
fun mount. It's a really fun mountain. It's too bad the snow was as sticky as it was.
I was going to say, if you can I think it's really rare to get that 7,000 foot descent
link
from
up.
Shasta as all good snow. It
Yeah.
feels like frequently it's like not good at the top. There's like a magic zone, and then it gets too soft.
Yeah, for sure, dog.
But extend that zone out, so hopefully you get like 5,000 or 4,000 feet of decent skiing. That's a big run, that's a big shot in good snow.
Yeah, and
Has it-
even the bottom part though, it's like not great snow, but it's also kind of just lower angle cruising, anyways. So
It
Yeah.
would have been better if I wasn't on a stepchild park snowboard.
that's why you should get a split board set up.
You could come to do Shasta with us.
That'd be so tight.
Come
we could
on,
we could have another
Drink with-
fight.
drink with your friends.
Snowboard with your friends, dude. When's the last time we gone to a fight in the backcountry?
It's
We
time.
might We
We
might
could
get
play
in a
around,
fight
we
on
could
the
have
couch
fun.
If you ask me about a split board one more time.
We have fun.
Snowball fight.
I could goof around and deploy your Abby airbag. And then it'd pop out and be so funny.
Hey,
Did
but
you guys get some?
no. But not
Oh.
probably not fighting in the backcountry, but we all are going skiing and snowboarding soon.
That's true.
We're close
Yep.
to this trip.
Yeah, we'll be able to fight at the resort.
Ryan, I'm staying in June.
Oh yeah. What days are you guys coming?
I forget.
The Wednesday after President's Day through that Sunday.
Are you
'Cause-
skiing?
Yeah,
Wait, that's-
I'm gonna try. We'll see. But we
happened?
are gonna do a switch on this trip.
We are
I'm gonna
do a
snowboard,
switch.
and you're gonna
Oh,
ski
hell
for
yeah.
a half day.
Yep, that's going to be tight.
Davey's gonna film it and get some content for it. I think it will be. How do you think you're gonna do on skis?
I don't know, but I think June would be better for that day if we're doing June one day. Now that
I'm
they're
totally
getting
down
snow.
to do June.
I mean,
That
there'll be
day.
less people to crash into.
On that trip, I'm probably going to, I might just stay in June the whole time.
Ski there every day.
Yeah,
I gotta get it in
backcountry.
Mammoth
Yeah,
today.
I'm totally down to.
Fuck
Get
yeah.
some Mammoth days.
Mammoth sucks.
No, that's not true.
I think.
I mean,
day
the
would do
mountain
Mammoth,
itself,
Skiing
objective,
is
the
so
the skiing
much-
is better,
Thursday
but
would be a good day for Mammoths.
But
Okay.
it sucks.
Right?
It's so busy.
Yeah,
it's not even that it's busy. It's that they're trying to, it's this new money grabbing moves has got me disliking them. They've left a bad taste in my mouth for the
Thank
last
God
night.
June is like not affiliated
June
with.
is still
I know.
class.
Mammoth. I won't.
Sierra at Tahoe isn't.
I won't shit
Thank
talk you
God
on this.
June is not owned by the same company Mammoth is. Like you're not supporting that company by going to. Oh,
Yeah. of
Mammoth
course
is
you-
still.
I know, but I already have a season pass. I'm not going to
Yeah.
not use it. So instead, I'm going to use it. I'm going to go to June, and I'm not going to pay for parking. I'm not going to pay for anything at the lodge. I'm not going to
and you're probably
be
gonna
caught
get-
on Woolly Cam. I'm not going to buy into this
let's
corporate.
be real. Wooly Cam ain't interested in you. Come on.
You
We
should
have
see
a
me
buggy
carve.
bonfire on Saturday where we give out free hot chocolate.
Hey, both the mountains are good in their own way. June is good because it's not Mammoth, and it is sick to have a mountain like Mammoth as
I'm
our
also-
home mountain.
I'm also staying in June, and I'm only skiing half days. So
Yeah.
if I were
Yeah.
staying in Mammoth, I probably would only be skiing Mammoth. So,
Mammoth is
but I do
better.
want to tour. Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna.
Rye guy, let's go touring.
Yeah.
What are your days
I,
off?
I have to see what days she makes a schedule. I think tomorrow or Friday.
Ryan, we should go touring, and we should get some 118 West Amateur Hour condoms, and we'll take them to the top of the peak, and we'll throw them off of the peak, and people will be like, "Whoa, who is that?" And we're
Like it's David Rye. It's Rye
David,
Dog.
David Rye from Amateur Hour.
But
Oh,
we
yeah.
should we should go tour, Ryan. Once you figure if you have any of those days off, we should definitely do a day out.
Yeah, I'll have to get now that like everything is in because everything just came in today. So now I have to go get my skis mounted. But I'll just take them into Mammoth.
We'll try and
Well,
convince Jesse to go with us on skis. I have a full
Touring?
Other, yeah.
Oh, and then I go.
Second
snowboard
day,
in the
second day on
backcountry?
skis. Ski one day, touring
Tour another.
the next day.
Oh yeah.
I backcountry skied my third day on skis.
Yeah, I think you could do it.
I
Anyways,
probably could, but
Especially with like a full day at June on like a proper bluebird groomer because I think next week is supposed to be pretty clear is what the forecast.
ooh, that's good news.
Yeah.
I would like to not have it be crazy. I'd like to have it be a bunch of fresh snow, soft,
Yeah.
but not actively dumping.
What about celebs? You want some celebs to be there?
really, you don't want a powder day?
This President's
I'll
Day,
take a
dude.
powder day, but I'm just if it's just like storminess and not like,
Like just windy. and-
windy and like little bits of snow, I'd rather have it be nicer.
I just
weather.
don't like driving in the
Yeah. Me
No,
Yeah,
neither.
not everyone's capable of driving in the snow.
Well, no, it's because I don't have an all-wheel drive car, and I don't like driving with chains, and I don't.
The Prius is your perfect vehicle. I know it's different. if you
And
have,
with
like,
with the kids in the car, like, and
Yeah.
with just me, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I guess I kind of do. Like, if I took out a family or something, I guess I would be a little bit bummed. But as
That
long as
happened to be a true story.
I had a small fender bender on the way to
well,
Mammoth.
okay, and actually here's one of the bigger things is I feel like the way I drive, if I were driving around Mammoth and there was nobody else there, I would feel totally confident that I would not crash my car up. Yeah, I would maybe get stuck on like some hilly spots with the Prius, but I feel confident that I would at least be able to know my limits of driving driving that car in those conditions. But one of my nightmares is driving there without chains at a stoplight maybe or something. Somebody comes up and hits me. I don't have chains on, so I slide into the intersection. Something really bad happens, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Well, you should have had chains on
They blame you
because
for
Do you have
it.
chains?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are they? In the box.
I'm not going to put them on."
All right, let me see the box. The box is right here. Shake it. Open the box. We don't have chains.
Do you know this story,
That's what
Ryan?
happened to Jake and Jesse.
That sounds like a Jake and Jesse story.
We were on our way to snowboard Big
Bear.
Bear on a powder day, I think, and
Oh.
6 inches of snow.
a Big Bear powder
Yeah.
day. And we were driving up on like the 330, and I think he had to have chains, but we did not.
We were in a 4-wheel drive 4Runner.
Yeah, with snow tires, which was totally fine for the day, but not for the CHP officer guarding the checkpoint. And when we rolled up, he was like, 4-wheel drive? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you have chains? And I'm like, yep. And he's like, where? And we pointed back to like a box or whatever. And I'm like, they're in that box. And he's like, shake it. And then we're like, all right, we don't have chains.
No, we shook it. He's like, all right, grab them. And we grabbed the box. They're in here. And he's like, shake it. And there was snowboard bindings in it. And we shook it. And he's like, open the box. And we're like, all right, the gig's up. We don't have change. He's like, can't come up here. And so
You boys are going home.
we were so irritated. Jake turned around, found this like side road called Fredalba Road, like half a mile before
That
the chain
bypassed
checkpoint.
the chain
That
checkpoint.
bypassed the chain checkpoint, but interestingly enough, had way gnarlier conditions. It was like a steep residential road covered in snow, and we like charged through like actual road where you'd need chains on most vehicles.
Ryan, have you flipped your Toyota yet?
No,
Tight.
And
hasn't
then
even
skirted.
fishtailed once. It's been so sick.
Dude, I bet that thing is so nice driving
Yeah.
around in the snow.
My Camry can handle. I think my Camry's about the level of your Prius
Probably
as far as
similar.
what it can handle. That trip we did to June, like when you skied with Maddie,
Yeah.
I got up at like 1:30 in the morning, and there was probably like 2-3 inches of snow, maybe 2 inches of snow on the road that
Yeah.
had already fallen. Maybe a little more in some
What?
areas.
That was a
2019.
Wait, hold on. What were you doing? Okay, you woke up at 1:30 in the morning and you were driving?
No, I
No, he
got to Sherwin
arrived.
Like
Oh,
1:30,
okay.
and there was just the blinking thing for chains, but no checkpoint, and I just charged through it. And the only sketchy part of the whole thing was like parking or like the hills kind of
Yep.
around June, like. But
I think that's how it goes at Mammoth a lot of the times. It feels surprising how often it'll be snow on the ground, and they don't require chains. It just says like autos with snow tires, like fine.
I definitely, if someone had seen me, they would have been like, "What the hell are you doing without chains?"
Okay, a lot of times they.
It said chains required. There was no one manning
yeah.
the checkpoint. I was like, "Well, I don't have chains. I'm going."
But I used to do that in the Previa, like driving 2-wheel drive with like some snow on the ground. I remember.
Yeah,
The key
It's
is
pretty
getting
easy, I think, in a
speed
lot of-
well in advance on hills. You need to think
yeah,
way ahead
and
of time.
the
Like,
quality of snow makes a difference. If it's like icy, it's way harder. You know, it takes like if it's like fresh new snow,
Yeah.
a front wheel drive car drives pretty well. I feel like in that most of the time.
It's
Like, not a-
almost
not a
clearance
lot.
is the issue with the Prius more
Totally.
than anything.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with snow.
Like
I-
so many times in the Prius, I did have chains, but I didn't want to put them on, and so I either wouldn't, or if they forced me to, I'd put one chain on the side that the chain checkpoint people could see, drive up until I got out of sight, take it off, and then continue driving it like regular
That's smart.
speed.
I just want to get an all-wheel drive car, but unfortunately, there's
Yeah, they're pretty sweet, I gotta say. It's my first one.
way to rub it in.
Dude, got it.
I feel like it's been a long time coming though for you, Ryan. You're living and working in the mountains.
Yeah, I needed that.
Yeah.
I need this.
Okay, so what else do we got? We have an upcoming
Oh.
ski and snowboard trip that
I-
we're all pretty excited about. We might get to ski with Steve, might come out, which would be really cool.
I bought a new surfboard. I
Oh, that's
I
right.
bought it a month ago and I just got it, and that's I think why we got this weather.
nice.
Yep,
Nice.
because now I won't be surfing for a week or so.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be pretty terrible conditions for surfing the next 3, 4,
I'd imagine.
5 days.
Right? Yeah. I think it stops raining on Friday, and then 3 days after that until it's clear.
Yeah.
What kind of surfboard?
A 4.6.
Was that the photo you sent? I
Yeah.
saw a brief. I was
You
Little
think it was a
twin
boogie
fin.
board?
A little shorty.
a 4.6. Is it like a fish?
Yeah, like an egg type thing. It's pretty sweet. 24 liters, infinity, Dana Point.
Nice.
What is that board's ideal wave?
Anything just below, anything like up to, there's kind of like a healthy overlap where the puddle jumper is like right here, right? That board is probably stops being fun a little bit after the puddle jumper starts being fun. And then
Okay.
like down and less. So like softer surf, smaller surf.
Like, could you surf it at trails, or is it an
Yeah,
uppers
I mean,
board?
Uppers, yes. Uppers is really fun. Trails just isn't that fun on a shortboard for me, period.
Yeah.
But uppers is really fun. Magnolia is really okay. A lot of days that are big enough to surf, but aren't like steep enough for the puddle jumper. So we end up on soft tops. But this will be an option.
So it's an in-betweener. An in-between
Yeah,
puddle
yeah,
jump
yeah. It's
and
not a
wave
breeder.
storm.
It's not a
Yeah.
breeder.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like in between the puddle jumper and the wave storm.
How many boards do you have in your quiver now?
I got a grip actually, if you count Lauren's.
Yeah. Household. How many surfboards do you have in your
What
household?
about the sup? Does the sup count? It doesn't really count. Does
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't count boogie boards either. Don't do it.
No, boogie boards. David
Boogie
surfs
boards
boogie
count.
boards.
A boogie board counts?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We got 2 Russells,
He doesn't have like a bunch
an
of small,
Infinity,
cheap,
a
like,
Channel
beater
Islands,
ones, I think.
a Lost, a Wave Storm, or a Jerry Lopez, a Wave Bandit, another Wave Bandit, an R Series.
A lot of foam in that lineup.
Yeah, a lot of soft tops. So I guess 10. I got a healthy quiver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the Infinity folks still know you?
Yeah. It was pretty tight. I went in there and said, "What up, Dave?"
Okay. Do you recognize? It's just the owner you recognize at this point. Everyone else is probably.
Yeah. Everybody else, but I mean, it's like it's like the owner and his family.
Okay.
Like so, it's like a whole family. Dude, they are one of the best like shops, companies, surf industry entities I think around. They're like really cool. It's like owned by the Bainey family, and it's always been owned by them. And they just make they made a bunch of surfboards when I was in there, and now they're more sup oriented. Like the whole downstairs is all sup oriented, but it's all very like hard goods oriented, not apparel, which is really cool, you know?
Yeah. It's not a Jax. surf,
Yeah.
I
Which,
think.
I mean, I like some of those. Like, you know, it's actually a nice surf shop is Surfside. They have a nice board
Yeah.
selection.
Jax is not for surfers. Jax is for people that travel to Newport Beach and buy.
They have
Overpriced.
I
surfboards.
bet you some people still get stuff there, but
It's like going to REI versus
I think it's a
The
step
gear
above.
co-op.
yeah.
REI still would. I think it's even bigger divide.
I don't
than-
like shopping at REI.
Nah.
I hate
Oh, I
it.
like it. No, REI is tight, dude. I bring my girls there, and I
Did you
just let
see
them
Vulcan and
run.
Quicksilver shut down every location in the U.S.?
Yes.
Yep.
A sad
Screaming deals online right now if
state
you
of
need
affairs.
anything.
And now Volcom's owned by some, or they're both owned by some like weird, out of country company, or like, is it even cool to wear Volcom at this point?
Did they
Wow.
really kill the shops around town?
Yeah, they're all closed. They're closing every location. They declared bankruptcy.
Dang.
Yep. That's
Wow.
such a core part of like 90s aughts
It's crazy to
surf
think-
culture.
How a
Yeah,
brand
Vol-
could like fail that was, I mean, Volcom was never the size of Quicksilver, but Quicksilver was like
Yeah.
that was like the Nike of surfing.
Who was the guy that ran it?
Bob McKnight. He lived
yeah.
across from Jenny.
That's right.
It feels like at this point though, Volcom is more relevant than Quicksilver.
Well, they're both bankrupt.
Had longer staying
But the
power.
brands are staying intact. Some they're gonna like spin them out, or like the company that owns them declared bankruptcy, but you'll still see those things
Well-
produced. But you'll probably now see them at like TJ Maxx.
No, it's good. No, it's still like a very similar. Like a lot of the team is still the same. Like the people that are actually working on the brand, it's more of the I think the corporation that's running the operations, like the manufacturing and the stuff behind. behind the scenes. They brought over, they kept on. I think they said a lot of the marketing team, a lot of the e-commerce team, a lot of the product designers, and so they kept a lot of people on, but they just Authentic Brands wasn't happy with the way it was performing.
All right. So what does it mean for Volcom?
I don't think it means that much for Volcom.
Can you still get a Volcom snowboard?
But here's the thing:
A
is
GG rough.
well, I think though that like they're closing those retail locations, so just because brick and mortar just isn't really working for
Yeah.
like those brands, and so they just decided. I think when Liberated Group was operating those brands, they opened up those stores. I think is what happened. And then when Authentic said, no, you're not going to be running these brands anymore. We're going to have these other groups run these brands. The new groups were like, we're not having retail stores anymore.
I think it's apparent though at this point that surf and snow companies are just, there's a reason they fail. Demand is very high for a lot of those products. The reason they fail is because of who starts them.
What do you
don't
mean?
see that rate of failure in other industries, I don't think. Like if you
Yeah,
think
you
of
do.
this, no.
Yes.
I think at that level, the sports industry is a pretty big industry.
But if you look
It's
at
not-
skate, snow, and surf, I would argue that like of all the companies that have like came up over the last 30 years, well over 90% of them don't last. Like, can you think that's the same in other industries?
Yes.
Do you think companies that make tennis stuff, 90% of the companies don't
Yes.
last, or golf? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it has to do with the type of people oftentimes that start a skate or surf company. I don't think they're well run. And so I think that's the reason they fail at what I'm guessing a higher rate.
I think most businesses fail, and also,
Most businesses fail.
yeah, statistically, I think most businesses fail across all industries. But also, too, you're saying these companies that are like reached a wild level of success, like hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, for even some of these smaller companies are like failures. It's just when you're, I think, a lifestyle apparel brand, sometimes people just stop wanting to buy what you have. I think they get too large, and if anything, they're successful because of who starts them, and they're a core brand. And I think they start to move away from that. And then other new, more core brands move in and take away a piece of their pie and push the original brands farther away from the core until they're not relevant anymore. And then they lose.
You want to hear what ChatGPT has to say about this?
What?
I said, do surf, skate, and snow companies fail at a similar rate to other companies in other industries? And it said, it likes my question. And then it said that in action sports or board sports industry face unique challenges, but their failure rate is generally comparable to other industries, with key differences depending on the stage and scale of the business.
I mean, I'm sure there's some categories of business that are
Real-time
exceptionally
fact
stable.
checked. We're not
but-
on a no fact check night.
I don't think that action sports apparel company is any less stable than like a sushi restaurant.
I'm not
in
talking about
Newport
like
Beach.
restaurant. I'm talking about comparable businesses
a
that
lot of
sell
it-
products. Not like the restaurant industry. Like most restaurants fold within the first year or whatever that stat is.
That sell products or services, just any business, right? Business across like a bunch of industries. I bet you that's hard. I mean, like there's so many people doing that. Obviously, most aren't going to make it.
But almost like none have made it. How many?
But what do you mean? What do you mean none have made it? Like what's your definition of not making it? Like
Folded.
Billabong
No
has
longer
sold
exists.
Billabong
Or-
has sold billions of dollars of revenue over
Or
its
it
life
got to the
cycle.
point where they've been licensed. Like, yeah, you can still buy OP products, but you buy them at TJ Maxx, and it's like no surfers buying OP.
But not many apparel brands outside of surfing
Or
have that
Gotcha
sort of
or-
staying power though either.
Gotcha.
What about
You're not
O'Neill?
going to catch me.
Rusty, brand like. Are you just looking for surf brands that still exist that have
I
been
could
around
list
for a long
more
time?
snow, surf, and skate companies than I could list presently exist easily.
Well, yeah. So you've said that the failure rate is higher than the success rate for still being in business today.
Yeah, but how many snowboard brands could you?
How many snowboard brands are still around today that you grew up riding?
Well, but I
Less
didn't grow up riding
than-
that many. But Burton is still around.
Burton.
New
not-
is probably still
Rome,
around.
that's Burton.
Rome. Yeah, okay.
I know, but Channel Islands is still around. Like,
So that's like saying, yeah, Nike's still around.
32 is still around. DC is still around.
But although I think though this is not a fair comparison because
Vans is still
Jesse's
around.
criticism of surf
DCC
founders,
still
I
makes
think,
boots. Yes, they're in all the Mammoth shops. Lizzie was just considering buying a pair, and she got Vans instead.
Vans are still around.
Yeah, they make snowboard
I also
boots.
think that your criticism of surf industry founders would also extend to snowboard industry founders as well, not ski industry.
Do you think Nate Bozon could found a good company?
He
Bosrec
has.
is
He
not
has.
still
Yeah,
around.
was it a good?
Bosrec.
But
Well,
Bosrec 2
can
or 3?
Can Bosrec ever die? It's like rock and roll.
I still think it's a higher rate of failure than a lot of other businesses. And a simple question to ChatGPT is not
Not going to
convince me
change my
otherwise.
mind.
But also, what's your definition of a failure?
No, I just mean like not
Yeah.
not surviving.
But like
Forever?
businesses have lifetimes.
Yeah.
Like
And Volcom is still around.
Yeah, but they're not supposed
I'm
to
just-
go out in your lifetime if they started in your lifetime. That's not the sign of a successful business.
black
They
flies.
do have lifetimes,
to
but if
sell
they
and, like-
started when you were 10 and they're done by the time you're 22 or 25, like that's not a sign of like, well, they had a good run. Businesses have like a real business is built to last for a lot longer than that.
Yeah, but if you have,
But
if
how
you have
long was
50
Volcom around for?
I mean, technically they're still around, but like I would lump that into
I-
a similar category when a business fades into obscurity or gets bought by something and now they're just licensing stuff and they're selling them at stores. Like it's not really or like it's kind of folded, right? Like
Or just changed?
I think Volcom's still a pretty relevant company in surfing and skating, not boogie boarding.
they no longer
could
have
step
the
up their
Volcom skate
represents.
park, but the city's too lazy to take the Volcom down. But
Wait,
it's
they
n-
don't have it?
That is not the Volcom. People call, hey, I'll meet you at Volcom, but there's no affiliation, but there's still just a big decaying sign that says Volcom.
Wait, so they ran out of a contract to sponsor it or something?
Yeah, probably.
They should just keep it in honor of Volcom. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
They paid to make it.
They did pay to make it, and Volcom was they're dead now, according to Jesse, but when they lived their life, what a life they lived. And like, I saw one cool thing was the Bainies from Infinity. They got a statue made for them in Dana Point, which I thought was pretty tight, for being,
The Bainies did?
yeah, like a part of the surf industry, like founding the surf industry down there, being a big part of it.
Do you think Chad and JT Parr are going to go to a city council meeting and demand that it be taken down?
No, they're down. I bet they'd be down for it. But, what was I saying about Volcom? That's what they should do about Volcom. Be like, you know what? Since you guys were such an influential company,
I mean, I should say those are not good examples either of what I'm talking about. The people that created Rich Wolcott, Bob McKnight, these people that created these big companies, they're doing just fine. Like, they made their money.
Yeah.
that's
So
what I'm
it's a
saying.
successful business. I bet a lot of people made money, not just those guys.
It's just things.
Those are big enough companies to have like a pretty solid amount of employees, like at various levels. I'm sure they're, if you look at it, like how many years and how many
And the
people are
culture is still
Why
alive.
can't I think of the guy that started OP or was big into it? Sean Thompson's brother. He just died.
Greg Thompson.
No,
Bill Thompson.
you don't know who that is?
Mm-mm.
Or no, not his brother, his cousin.
Rich
He's
Thompson.
South African. He was like a big druggie, big surfer in the 80s.
Mick Thompson.
Oh, this guy drives me
Nick
crazy.
Thompson.
Rick Thompson.
Ron Thompson.
Don Thompson.
Maybe a few more. and I'll
John
get it, guys.
Thompson.
Tyler
Are we getting
Thompson.
warmer? Caden Thompson.
Michael Thompson.
Can you imagine meeting like a 50-year-old man named like one
Michael
of the...
Thompson. There it is.
Was it?
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, I knew we could get to it.
You smart son of a bitch. God damn it.
What did he do?
He
Yeah,
created.
where are we going at this?
What's so good about Michael Thompson? The
Oh,
drug-addled South African
No, he-
cousin of Sean Thompson.
He created OP, or was a huge.
Okay, so
How are you
something
guys
did-
feeling about Cart?
I'm down. I think we should do it.
Ryan, you want to watch us play Cart, or are you just gonna, retire to your spoiled milk smell?
I am definitely gonna need to retire. I gotta be at work at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Wow.
So
Well, I hope it's a I hope it's a rad snow day tomorrow up there.
Yeah, I believe it will be, but I think it's going to be a blowdown day.
I don't know what that means. And I don't think I
Means
want to know.
it means just like the mountain won't really be open.
That's tight. It's easy money for you, right?
Yeah, I think
That's
it's
what
going
I'm
to be
about.
going to be an interesting. We'll see if we have any face poachers because we've had a few already.
I feel like why would you poach the face when you could just go over like literally to the boundary, the ski boundary, and get the same skiing, right?
Yeah,
There's like the face goes all the
the
way across.
face is shitty skiing.
I should, dude. I think I would be a great blowdown day ski patroller.
They get a little mind numbing though. Like you just
No,
sit in the control room.
Have you ever had a runner,
What do you mean?
like someone where you're like, "Hey, stop," and they don't stop, like a chase?
I don't tell people to stop.
You've never gotten into a
You're,
pursuit.
you're like Chief Wiggum. I'd rather let 1,000 criminals go free than chase one down.
You've never had a high speed pursuit.
Fuck no. The
don't
only
think that's a
time that I
normal thing
remember
for
anything
patrols.
happened like that
I think it is
What?
for snowboarders.
You think
if the only time we would like do an active look, we wouldn't. If we saw it and they left, then we would chase them. But if a collision is like really the only time, if you poach the face, we would just like ski down and they would hold you at the bottom.
they would never catch me?
I think
So
a lot of
there's-
young people. I think a
if
lot
you
of
were
young people
gone-
get chased by ski patrollers still.
So there would be a chase.
I bet you the vast majority of ski patrol people working as ski patrol have never been in a chase of somebody.
No, that's true. But I bet that there's like those 3 or 4 people. You know who they are. We have people that we've worked with, public safety, who probably could not turn down a chase. Like,
For sure.
and they probably rack up multiple chases per week.
Yeah.
While most of the ski patrollers don't do anything with their
At
day.
Mammoth, they're supposed to have, like, they're supposed to keep track of, like, like sitting at slow banners and telling people, hey, slow down. And then they, like, submit these, like, cards in.
Yeah, but even that is different. Like yelling at someone to slow down, or yelling at someone to slow down and they don't, or they're going too fast, and then tracking them down is not a chase.
That's like a public contact.
If they run or like try and bail, then that's a chase. But I think yes, that's just talking. Like,
Hey, can I speak my truth here and just be
Yeah.
really open and honest with everybody right now? I just want to wrap this up and get to playing cart.
I agree.
So
Ryan,
And
Thank you.
good
loyal
luck with your
listeners.
snow blowdown, whatever sick
Yeah, I'll keep
type
you
of
guys
stuff.
yeah,
that you guys are up there.
have fun blowing down with all your ski patrol bros, dude.
Yeah,
I can't
go.
wait.
Make sure you save that for Rainbow Mountain.
And like that, we're out of here.